Dear viewers, welcome to this transformative journey through the depths of our consciousness and the unlimited power of our imagination. Today, we'll delve into the teachings of Master Neville Goddard and explore how we can bring into existence that which seems not to exist. Imagine for a moment that you're standing before a blank canvas. This canvas represents your life, your reality. Now, ask yourself, what masterpiece do you wish to create? What colors, shapes, and textures do you long to paint on this canvas of your existence? The answer to these questions lies at the very heart of Neville Goddard's teachings. Neville teaches us that the reality we experience is a direct reflection of our internal conversation, our most intimate thoughts, and the images we cultivate in our mind. But how can we change our form if it depends on our internal conversation? The answer is as simple as it is profound. We must transform our internal conversation to transform our external reality. Allow me to share a personal story that illustrates this principle. Years ago, I found myself in a job situation that caused me great dissatisfaction. Each day, upon waking, my internal dialogue was plagued with complaints and laments about my work. I hate this job, I can't stand my boss, I'll never get my dream job. These were the phrases I constantly repeated in my mind. It's no surprise that, day after day, my work reality became more unbearable. It was then that I discovered Neville Goddard's teachings and understood the power of internal conversation. I decided to make a radical change. I began to imagine myself in my dream job, feeling the satisfaction and joy it would provide. I changed my internal dialogue to phrases like, I love my work, I'm grateful for the opportunities presented to me, I'm valued and respected in my professional field. At first, these affirmations seemed false, even ridiculous. But I persisted. And, little by little, I began to notice subtle changes in my work environment. Opportunities started to arise, my attitude improved, and finally, I got the job I so longed for. This experience taught me that, as Neville says, man moves in a world that is nothing more or less than his objectified consciousness. Now, dear listeners, I ask you, what is your current internal conversation? What stories are you telling yourself about your life, your relationships, your career, your health? Remember, these stories are not mere passing thoughts, they are the foundations upon which your reality is built. Neville Goddard reminds us that God's name is I Am. This I Am is the very essence of our being, the creative power that resides in each of us. When we say I Am, we are invoking this divine power. Therefore, we must be extremely careful with what follows these words. Imagine for a moment that you're standing in front of a mirror. Look into your eyes and say aloud, I am. Feel the power of these words. Now, complete the phrase with what you wish to be or experience. I am prosperous, I am loved, I am healthy. By doing this, you are planting the seeds of your new reality in the fertile soil of your consciousness. But it's not enough to say these words once and expect magic to happen. The key lies in persistence and unwavering faith. As the great William Shakespeare said, we are such stuff as dreams are made on. Our thoughts, our words, our mental images are the raw material with which we sculpt our reality. Let me share another anecdote that illustrates this principle. I met a woman who had struggled for years with a chronic illness. Doctors had told her that her condition was incurable and that she would have to learn to live with it. However, this woman refused to accept that verdict as her final reality. Inspired by Neville Goddard's teachings, she began to change her internal conversation. Instead of saying I am sick, she began to affirm I am perfect health manifested. Every night, before sleeping, she imagined herself brimming with energy and vitality. She visualized every cell in her body vibrating with health and well-being. At first, there were no visible changes in her physical condition. But she persisted. Months passed, and little by little, she began to notice improvements in her health. Her energy increased, her symptoms decreased. A year later, to her doctor's amazement, her illness had completely remitted. This woman had achieved what seemed impossible, bringing into existence a reality that previously seemed not to exist. This story reminds us of Neville Goddard's words, imagination is the only reality. Everything we experience in the outer world began first as an image in our mind. Therefore, if we want to change our reality, we must first change the images we cultivate in our imagination. Dear viewers, I invite you to do a powerful exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize the life you want to live. See it with all possible details. How do you feel in that life? What are you doing? Who surrounds you? Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fullness of that life as if it were already a present reality. Now, open your eyes. That vision you just experienced is not a mere dream or an unattainable fantasy. It's the blueprint on which you can build your new reality. As Neville said, what you imagine as true creates a fact. However, it's important to understand that this process is not about denying current reality or living in a fantasy world. It's about understanding that our present reality is the result of our past thoughts and beliefs, and that we can change it by changing our current thoughts and beliefs. The great physicist Albert Einstein once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world." This phrase perfectly encapsulates the essence of Neville Goddard's teachings. Our imagination is the most powerful tool we possess to create the life we desire. But how can we use this tool effectively? The key lies in what Neville called the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's not enough to simply visualize what we want. We must feel it as if it were already real. We must imbue our visualizations with emotion, with the absolute certainty that what we imagine is already a reality on the spiritual plane and that it will inevitably manifest on the physical plane. Imagine for a moment that you desire a new house. It's not enough to simply visualize the house. You must feel the texture of the keys in your hands, smell the aroma of the freshly painted rooms, hear the sound of your steps on the new floor. You must feel the excitement and gratitude of being the owner of that house. When you achieve this feeling of the wish fulfilled, you will have planted the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of universal consciousness. Neville teaches us that imagination creates reality. But this creation doesn't occur in a vacuum. It occurs through our internal conversation, our habitual thoughts, the images we cultivate in our mind. Therefore, we must be vigilant of our internal dialogue. Observe your thoughts throughout the day. How many of them are positive and affirmative? How many are negative and limiting? Remember, each thought is a seed we plant in the garden of our mind. What kind of garden are you cultivating? The power to change our reality through imagination and internal conversation is not a new concept. Throughout history, great leaders, inventors, and visionaries have used this power to change the world. Think of Martin Luther King Jr. and his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. King didn't just talk about a better future, he visualized it, felt it, proclaimed it as an imminent reality. And that vision became a force that transformed a nation. Or consider Walt Disney, who once said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." Disney didn't just imagine a world of magic and fantasy, he brought it into existence through his persistence and unwavering faith in his vision. These examples show us that the power of imagination and internal conversation is not limited to our personal lives. It has the potential to change the world. Imagine what kind of world we could create if we all used this power consciously and positively. Dear viewers, I invite you to make a commitment today. A commitment to be aware of your internal conversation, to cultivate thoughts and images that are aligned with the life you want to live. I invite you to practice the feeling of the wish fulfilled every day, to live from the desired end, as Neville Goddard teaches us. Remember, you are not limited by your current circumstances. You are limited only by your imagination and by the stories you tell yourself. As Neville said, man is all imagination and God is man and exists in us and we in him. The eternal body of man is the imagination, that is, God himself. In conclusion, I leave you with these words from Neville Goddard: if you want to realize your dreams, wake up. Wake up and use the power that sleeps in you. The power to bring into existence what seems not to exist is within you. It's in your imagination, in your internal conversation, in your ability to feel the reality of your fulfilled desires. May each of you become the conscious architect of your own reality. May your thoughts be seeds of infinite possibilities, may your internal conversation be a song of abundance and joy, and may your imagination be the brush with which you paint the canvas of your life. Remember, the universe is a mirror that faithfully reflects our deepest thoughts and beliefs. So, what image do you want to see reflected? The choice is yours. The power is yours. The life you desire is waiting for you to bring it into existence. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery and transformation. May the light of your imagination illuminate your path, and may the strength of your faith move mountains. Until next time, dear viewers, may your dreams become your reality. To further enhance our understanding and application of Neville Goddard's teachings, let's explore 2 additional subtopics that are closely related to the core message. The power of revision. One of Neville Goddard's most powerful techniques is the practice of revision. This involves mentally revisiting events from your past and reimagining them in a way that aligns with your desired reality. The idea is that by changing your memory of past events, you can alter your present and future. For example, if you had a difficult conversation with someone, instead of replaying the negative aspects in your mind, you would reimagine the conversation going smoothly and positively. You would visualize both parties leaving the interaction feeling understood and respected. This practice is not about denying what happened, but about choosing to focus on and energize a different version of events. By doing this consistently, you begin to shift your energy and your expectations, which in turn affects your future experiences. To practice revision. At the end of each day, review the events that occurred. For any event that was less than ideal, close your eyes and reimagine it the way you would have preferred it to unfold. Feel the emotions associated with this revised version of events. Do this consistently, and watch how it begins to affect your present experiences and future interactions. Remember, as Neville taught, there is no limit to the power of revision. You can revise events from yesterday or from years ago. The key is to feel the reality of the revised event as if it had actually happened that way. Living in the end. Another crucial concept in Neville Goddard's teachings is the idea of living in the end. This means mentally and emotionally living as if your desire has already been fulfilled. It's about adopting the state of consciousness of the person who has already achieved what you're aiming for. For instance, if your goal is to become a successful author, you would begin to think, feel, and act as if you were already a successful author. You might visualize yourself at book signings, seeing your book on bestseller lists, or receiving positive reviews. The key to living in the end is to make it as real and natural as possible. It's not about pretending or forcing yourself to believe something. It's about gently shifting your consciousness to align with your desired state. To practice living in the end. Clearly define your desired end state. What does success look like to you? Throughout your day, ask yourself, how would I think, feel, and act if I were already living my desire? Make decisions from the perspective of already having achieved your goal. Pay attention to the little details. How would your successful self dress? How would they speak? What would their daily routine look like? Remember, the goal is not to escape your current reality, but to align your consciousness with your desired state, trusting that your outer world will eventually reflect this inner shift. By incorporating these practices of revision and living in the end into your daily life, you can significantly enhance your ability to manifest your desires. These techniques help you to more fully embody the teachings of Neville Goddard, allowing you to harness the creative power of your imagination in a more focused and effective way. As you continue on this journey of conscious creation, remember that you are not just changing your circumstances, but transforming your entire experience of reality. You are awakening to your true nature as a divine creator, capable of shaping your world through the power of your imagination and belief. Embrace this journey with joy and excitement, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to the realization of your deepest desires. Trust in the process, have faith in your innate creative power, and watch as your world transforms in beautiful and unexpected ways. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Neville Goddard's teachings. May your imagination be fertile, your faith be strong, and your reality be a reflection of your highest dreams. Until next time, keep imagining, keep believing, and keep creating the life of your dreams.